Yes, sir. Now, today, we're going to talk about the Paku killer, man. Lil Durk. Now, the reason why I call him the Paku killer is because if you pay attention to his eyes, right? Now, this comes from Japanese culture. They call it Paku eyes. When three corners of your, what do you call the white part? I forgot what you call the white part of your eyes. Some retina, either retinas or like some. But right, the white part, the iris or something, I don't know. But the white part, when it's three part, when you can see the sides and the bottom or the top, right? You got them. It's two different Paku eyes. He got the one where you can see both whites on the side and the bottom. And what they believe when someone has this is that misfortune follows them, accidents follow them, and violence follows them, right? They attract it, right? Due to some type of imbalance that they believe that these people have. They say people with Paku eyes are more inclined to become serial killers and things of that nature, right? So it's very interesting, man, when we look, man, and then we just talked about Lil Durk. When we just talked about Lil Durk before he turned 33, right? We talked about him when Duty Low got shot, right? And we had sat there and said, watch when he turned 33. Watch when he turned 33. It's only gonna turn up. And look what we have here, man. Look what we have here. So what's so crazy about this is Lil Durk has been in custody since his arrest on October 24th, 2024. Where he was charged with murder for hire, right? Now, what's so crazy about this? Almost exactly a year, right? A day after the anniversary of his arrest, right? Someone else tied to Lil Durk is killed in a Chicago shooting, THF Bayzoo. Now, the Chicago rapper born Devontae Collier was among three individuals shot in the city's Little Village area on Saturday, October 25th afternoon. At the time of the incident, a car occupant in a parking lot shot at three men, three on 3100 block of South St. Louis Avenue around 3 p.m., right? As Durk is 33 years old. Now, come on, man. We finna dive into this situation, man. Right? Because if we look at October 25th, right? The day that Bayzoo was killed, man. October 25th, 1025. Now, if we look at his birthday, September 26, 1990, and we actually break that down, breaking down September 26 and then the year 90, right? We actually get 125. Just like if you take the letters, right? And this is what's going on in this industry, man. But these ritual sacrifices, this is what's going on, man. This is called Gematria, the practice of turning letters into numbers. So we know in this dualistic world, right? Not only do you have to take the English language forwards, but you have to also take it backwards, right? To see other hidden meanings, right? So if you put THF Bayzoo, you can write it on paper, right? Put the English language backwards. Z is 1, Y is 2. Go all the way up to A26 and do THF Bayzoo, and it's going to equal 125, the day that he died, October 25th. And he was even born on 125 date numerology. So it was in his birthday, whether this was structured, his birthday was structured, you know, because this is a birthday from famous birthdays, and they go off the birthday that you give them. So that's why if you look me up on there, there's no birthday. But come on. Lil Durk, right? If we look at his birthday, right? October 19th, 1992, right? But we take his birthday next year, right? This is what you do in all these sacrifices. When it involves somebody, you take their birthday, you take the span of their life, their birthday before the incident happened, and their next birthday upcoming, right? So Lil Durk's upcoming birthday is on the 11th month and 25th day of this artist that's linked to him being killed on October 25th, 125. Then we got 1125. So let's keep on going. So after this took place, after the sacrifice took place, Lil Durk's $12.5 million lawsuit from Exceed Talent Capital is dropped. The ritual sacrifice is complete. He offered a sacrifice up, offered the blood up, and in return, the spiritual and physical forces that's helping Lil Durk, the dark forces that's helping Lil Durk, and then we see it happen in the physical. Now the case get dropped. He didn't win $12.5 million. He was getting sued for $12.5 million, and he just don't have to give it up. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like he's about to win $12.5 million. He just don't have to cough up $12.5 million because he coughed up blood instead for the ritual sacrifice. He gave up the blood instead. But come on. Right? Because even if we look at the span of Lil Durk's life, man, at the time that THF Bayzoo was killed, man, he's 12,059 days old. Let's break that down, man. We get that 125 again. We get 125, and then we get 9, right? So we get THF Bayzoo, ritual sacrifice, right? So he was ritually sacrificed. And then look at the number of completion that sealed it, right? The number 9 signifies completion and the end of a cycle, often leading to new beginnings. It is also associated with universal love, wisdom, and humanitarianism. Different in numerology, it's a spiritual number symbolizing completion. In some belief systems, it's tied to perfection or change. And in popular culture, it appears in expressions like the whole 9 yards. And that's what's so interesting about that saying, because in football, you don't get the first down until you get those 10 yards. If you get 9 yards, you still got one more yard to go before you get that first down. So it's very interesting that they still use the saying the whole 9 yards instead of the whole 10 yards. You see what I'm saying? But come on. Now, like we spoke on, man, Lil Durk is 33 years old. He just turned 33 too. Just turned 33. Lil Durk equals 33. So now he's activated. He fully activated. This is peak right here. This is peak. This is peak. So now the sacrifice, the ritual sacrifice is going through. The album's going to hit number 1. The lawsuit's going to get dropped. You see what I'm saying? The dark forces is at play. But come on. The steps of Freemasonry, the Scottish Rite, the steps of the Scottish Rite Freemasonry, as we know, have 33 degrees, right, of masonry, the 33 degrees. So this is a Masonic ritual, and we can see that by looking at his most recent album that he dropped on March 28th, 2025, called Deep Thoughts. And it's about to circle back. Watch this. But, right, Deep Thoughts was released 211 days before the death of THF Bayzoo, when Mason equals 211 in Latin, right? And this is the language that you use to speak to demons, right? It's Latin. So they try to, downplay Latin and call it a dead language. But that's why they use it, to talk to dead spirits. But come on. Right? Because now let's talk about 6-7, right? Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about 6-7, right? So, Lil Durk, his birthday, right? THF Bayzoo died 6 days after Lil Durk's birthday. In other words, he died on the 7th day, right? Now, even October 25th, the day Bayzoo was killed, left 67 days left in the year. Blood sacrifice equals 67. Human sacrifice equals 67. But why is this meme going so viral, man? Why is this meme going so viral? Let's talk about it. So the symbolic battle between 666 verse 777, the tensions between the two numbers is most vividly illustrated in the book of Revelation. 666, the number of the beast, number of man, right? The number of beasts, Revelation 13:18 speaks on that. You might see these records a lot in sports, right? A lot of teams will be 13 and 18, depending on what record you look at. Or they'll be pending. That number will be pending. That type of record will be pending, right? Is given as 666 and is explicitly stated to be the number of a man. The repetition of 6 3 times emphasizes the ultimate incompleteness, failure, and profound deficiency of humanity and human systems, political power, false religion, materialism that oppose God and attempt to be like him, but can never reach divine standards. Now, 777 is symbol of the divine, Though not explicitly mentioned in the Bible, 777 is often interpreted in theological context as the numerical opposite of 666, representing complete or perfect perfection, a symbolic representation of God or the Holy Trinity, right? Hence, right, the book saying that God created the world in 7 days, right? Created mankind on the sixth day. Watch that movie, The Sixth Day. Yeah, when they clone Adam, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. But anyway, the 6-7, right? Even in Gematria, satanic equals 6-7, right? Meaning that together, you cannot play both masters. You cannot pick the same, you can't play 6 and 7, right? That's why the meme, if you pay attention to the meme, the way he do his hands, it's like which one you want. You know when you picking one, when you outweighing the scale, 6-7, 6-7. Yeah, which side you on? 6-7. Which side you gonna pick? Which side you gonna stand on? Right? The imperfection of man or the symbol of the divine. Right? And we're gonna see how they use these numbers to mark us, right? With the number of the beast, with these rituals that they like to do. So we got 6-7, right? Let's go deeper on that then. 6 times 7 is 42. So we talked about the number of man being 6, which resembles the number of man, right? So if we combine 6 and 7, right, we get 42, which is humanity equals 42. Now, I said we was gonna circle back to Deep Thought, a supercomputer named Deep Thought. Remember that was Lil Durk's most recent album, Deep Thoughts, before this artist passed away. So let's look at what Deep Thought talking about, right? They're trying to guide you in this direction. That's why they're doing all these things. They're leaving clues so they can try to wipe their hands with the karma. That's what they believe. They believe with doing this way, doing these sacrifices this way, this is them dropping breadcrumbs, right? But come on. Because if you ever watched the movie A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a supercomputer named Deep Thought, right? It was a whole bunch of people, right? They came to this supercomputer, right? After 7.5 million years because they wanted to know what was the ultimate answer to life and everything. So the computer told them come back in 7.5 million years and I'll tell y'all. So they came back, a lot of, I don't know what a lot of people perished, obviously, but, they kept telling the tale that in 7.5 million years, so when that 7.5 million years came, the people all gathered together, everybody wants to know, everybody's gathered around. And the computer simply states that the answer is 42. And there's a lot of confusion in the crowd. There's a lot of disappointment in the crowd because when the answer was revealed to be 42, the creators realized they didn't know the actual ultimate question, right? So a new, even larger computer, the Earth, was built to figure out the question. And computer equals 42. Deep thought equals 42. So let's really dive in. Let's really keep on going then. Right? Because the other two victims that were with Bayzoo, one of them was 42 years old, they're reporting. They're reporting that one of the other victims that he was with was 42 years old. And this shooting occurred, if we take Bayzoo's birthday, this happens on the 4th week. He dies on the 4th week and 2nd day of his age. When we know that this is also a number that's linked to black people, right? The N-word equals 42, slavery equals 42, blacks equals 42, racial slur equals 42, Black History Month, February equals 42. In a sitcom, Martin lived in apartment 42. Martin equals 42. Jackie Robinson, ward number 42. Can't nobody else even in the MLB even wear that number anymore. No one in the MLB can even wear that number 42 anymore. That's how special. So they're showing you, they're trying to tell you something about yourself, how important that number is. You can't even wear it. Right? But come on, man. Right? Because if we break down Bayzoo's birth date numerology, September 26, 1990. It breaks down to 144. Bayzoo is also known for his association with THF, Tay-Town Hustlers family. Now that breaks down to 144. Now, once again, if we go back to scripture, and we're going to break down how these things are twisted, how these said people that's in power, and we're going to touch on that name. Don't think we finna shy away about saying that name, right? But we got a group of people that's using things and using doctrine and twisting it in their favor, right? So the Tay-Town Hustlers family equals 144 when the scripture speaks about the 144,000 are a group mentioned in the book of Revelation again, representing either a literal or symbolic number of God's faithful followers who are sealed and protected during a time of tribulation. While some interpretations see them as a specific literal group of 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, others believe the number is symbolic, representing the complete number of all believers from all nations. The 144,000 are described as being redeemed from the earth and having the name of God and the Lamb on their foreheads. So they're marked. So he was marked with 144, right? He was marked. He was marked. So with that being said, and that's why he was the ritual sacrifice, right? But come on. Because let's see how these people hijack. They do these things. They know these things. They know this knowledge, right? They know this knowledge. So what they do, they steal, they copy, and they hijack, right? The society of Jesus, right? So they twisted it. They twisted it. They know what you marked with, so they're going to mark you with the beast instead, right? That's the game that they playing with this English language. That's why they created it that way. The letter J didn't even exist until the 1500s. This is what this English language was created to do, was to speak in code. But the Jesuit order, man, equals 144. The Jesuits, the Society of Jesus, the name they hide behind, right? The mark of the beast, 144. So they wrote they self to be the chosen 144,000. You see what I'm saying? That's why they rewrote that book. That's why they rewrote that book and put the things that they put in it. Half-truths. See what I'm saying? Because this who they want to be. They trying to say they the 144,000. These Jesuits, these Zionists running around. You see what I'm saying? These Catholic popes running around. Who y'all think y'all is? But come on. The Chicago rapper born Devontae Collier, right? That was his name. Now, if we take Lil Durk's span of his life, right? Because this is the person they keep on connecting him to. Lil Durk was exactly 12,060 days old. Devontae, I got to take that out. We're going to take that out. We're going to take Devontae because I've been seeing different articles. Some articles spell his name E, and then some articles spell his name with an A. So we're going to remove that. Just disregard that. You can just disregard that. If you, I'm not even tripping for real because there's so much information. I'm not even tripping for real. Because they playing around with the spelling of his name. So yeah, you can disregard that if you want to. Mark of the beast though, that's spelled right. Mark of the beast equals 126 in that same cipher though, right? So come on, with that being said, right? Right, blacks, right? That's easy to spell, right? 126 in Latin as well. THF Bayzoo, breaking down his birth date numerology. That breaks down to 126 date numerology. So we can ignore that, Devontae. We can ignore that A. We ain't got to keep that into an account. We ain't got to keep that part into an account. Come on. 126. 126. So this is why they want to mark you with the mark of the beast. So that's why they created these terms. Black. Black. You see what I'm saying? White. And then they sitting here wearing black and white in the picture. The Masonic checkerboard, black and white. And ain't it funny? He wearing the white which symbolized purity, and he the only one standing. Is that third? No, never mind. And he the last man standing out of only the family. Yeah, only the family getting sacrificed. Then he wearing the black and red, the sacrificial colors. He wearing the red for the blood, and he wearing the black that's looked at as so evil. But then look at him sitting there. Look at him sitting there wearing all white. but he a devil whole time, demon whole time. And then look at how cuz looking at him. It's like he noticed something about him. It's like he really peeping shit in real time in that picture. A picture worth 1,000 words. It's like he looking at cuz like, man, I don't even know if I can trust cuz for real. And he ain't even paying attention. He's smiling somewhere else. Because he don't got a care in the world, because he know he spiritually protected by these evil forces that inhabit this earth. But come on. Right? Because once again, hijack the Jesuit order. They want to take it. See, they want to take it. Take it. Take the energy. That's how they sacrifice. You want to join the industry, rapper? Black man from the hood? Yeah, take out your own people and sacrifice them to us. So we gain the energy from it. So we gain the energy from the beast system. And then mock you at the same time because you don't know that your true power, that you don't even need us. But anyway, right? Because that show you how they use these people in this industry, sacrifice them for these symbolic people that the Jesuits praise, right? So now if we look at THF Bayzoo's span of life, his span of life was exactly, he died on the 421st month of his life. Not a day early, not a day late. On time. These folks are always on time, and what they say, they on demon timing. You hear me? On the 421st month. That's when he took that last breath, right? What they saying, right? I can only go off what they saying. I wasn't out there, I ain't see it. So we got 421, right? So we got this link with the Jesuit order, right? So if we look at the first Jesuit Pope that just passed away, he died on April 21st. In other words, 421. So here's their tribute to that first Jesuit Pope that's ushering in this mark of the beast system, this new agenda. Because he was the Pope for a minute, man, since 2013, man. So they got to keep on, even though he's dead now, they got to keep on tributing him for everything he's done, you know, from that period. From that period, man. The first Jesuit Pope, you see it right there, the first Latin American. So yes, that's why they do this. Yeah, hijack. But, okay, so Chicago rapper THF Bayzoo, 35 when he dies, right? 35. This is another tribute to the Jesuits, right? And another way, they just, boom, right by his name, THF Bayzoo equal 35. His birthday, September 26th, just breaking that down, the 9th month, 26th day, 35. He died 10th month on the 25th day, 35. He's from Chicago, 35. Catholic, the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, the Jesuit Pope, residing out the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church, Catholic, 35. Rapper, he's rap, 35. These are tributes, man. Then what they gonna post it on the Chicago Tribune, right? Then look at this other one, the U.S. Sun, the Society of Jesus, the sun. They worship the sun god, man. But 3 + 5, man, that's 8, man. Looking at Devontae Banks, man. And that gonna take us through a whole nother rabbit hole of why he changed his name, right? But born Dirk Derek Banks, right? So you know his numbers at play, the reason why he changed his name. But Banks remains the same. Banks equals 88, right? So we got this Pope Francis connection, right? 88. Pope Francis died at 88. The sacrificial lamb, 88. For the Church of Satan, 88. Now we finna go ahead and seal this deal, man. 24th slide in 24th minute, man. We on, divine timing though. You see what I'm saying? On the right synchronicity though. You see what I'm saying? So Pope Francis, he died April 21st or 21/4. Church of Satan equals 214. Prince made a song called I Would Die For You on his album called Purple Rain, when we know that the purple is connected to the Phoenicians that look at purple as royalty, the crown chakra. That's why that's the top. Your crown, that's why it's purple. That's why Kobe had that crown tattoo on his shoulder, on his arm. He had that crown tattoo, and what he played for? The team that wear purple and yellow. Royalty, king. That's why King James went over, then King opened up that King James Bible. Yeah, King James, LeBron. That's why he went over to the Lakers to play for that purple and gold too. This is royalty. It's deeper than basketball. These are puppets in a puppet show. This is a circus. And this is who you, when you peel that curtain back, you see the puppet masters. The ones that's, you know, in the front. It's people above Pope Francis and Queen Elizabeth that we don't even know. You see what I'm saying? The masked people. The shadow government. You see what I'm saying? But Queen Elizabeth's birthday was April 21st, 421. I would die. Prince would die 421. Prince would die. I rebuke you. Prince would die 421, right? April 21st. The same span, the same lifespan of THF Bayzoo, 421. So with that being said, man, that's all we got for this video, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video, man. Appreciate y'all for all the love. Appreciate y'all for all the support. And I'm out.